So we've got ourselves a series on our hand after CBA managed to tie it up at 1-1 last game, and we will be going into the game 3 in a couple of minutes. And Byron, one of those teams at the end of the next game will be on a match point.
They will indeed. And both teams, they feel like they've struggled in the game that they've lost very much so more than the other team has thrived, I'd say. You see, in the first game, it was misplays with the engaged players of Unknown Swede. Also had Gaza having a few awkward moments there, but in game 2, it felt that there was a lot of disrespect, especially towards Unknown Swede's Silas pick. It feels like Fuzzy Esports not really knowing the extent that champion can deal in terms of damage in the jungle, and were caught out a couple too many times there. And one thing I really didn't like, if we're going back to the draft phase, Fuzzy Esports blind picked a Renekton. And that did not work out a single iota for them. You cannot pick such a one-dimensional champion so early into the draft because it will just get counterpicked. And we saw it there. Great performance by Imported Chicken on that Poppy meant that there was nothing that Bumblebee could do in that game.
Yeah, Bumblebee was absolutely useless. And talking about useless things, the Garen Yumi duo also didn't really work out. I mean, to be honest, I don't think Cal hit level 11 until the very end of the game, shortly before the Nexus exploded. So, you know, maybe they just decided it was an execution error. But if you are Fuzzy, then you do have that one more time to go with something experimental. But I think we will be seeing the Garen Yumi strat being put on the shelf for the rest of the series.
Very likely, or what they might try and do is ban out the early game aggression that we saw from CBA in that bot lane, like get rid of the Lucian or the Pyke or whatever, and then try and use that Garen Yumi into a slightly easier bot lane to survive, because Lucian and Pyke, like we talked about last game, it's such a hard lane to survive because of the amount of damage and burst potential it has, alongside jungle visits, just make it so difficult to do anything in. And so it might be that either Fuzzy Esports to ban away Lucian and the Pyke, or they look to try and counterpick with something that can have a lot of priority and a lot of range, something like a Caitlyn that can stay out of that big burst range that the CBA bot lane of Lucian and Pyke can bring.
Yeah, definitely. And what I'm also going to be keeping an eye on is the jungle matchup mostly. Because CBA, for the third game in a row, they will be on the blue side. Last time it was Fuzzy choosing red. This time it's CBA choosing that first pick. They went for the Silas last game, and we saw Unknown Swede have a really solid performance. I wouldn't be surprised if the Silas will be banned right now by Fuzzy Esports just because of how strong that was. But if it isn't... Sorry. I just got lost in my point. Yeah, but if it isn't, CBA can just first pick again, just give it to Unknown Swede, and he will be set up to have a similar kind of performance this game.
Yeah, and really, I look at CBA, and that side has picked it a lot for them, to be honest, but I think they have very much a win condition, kind of like how they win games is very much painted out in the series now. We have a strong bot lane that can hold its own and get some priority. Get a mid laner who can scale up. I mean, Paul's had a great Rise game beforehand, before that Cassiopeia, but the Cassiopeia was great for him. Give Unknown Swede a jungler that he can duel on and can actually win out in those jungle trades. Because in game 1, he had the Jarvan, he couldn't 1v1 that Olaf. Whereas in this game, because of the Silas, he was able to 1v1 the Gragas, and it meant that he could completely take over the jungle. So I think getting a winning matchup in the jungle, very important. But also that top lane, make sure that Bumblebee, if he isn't going to counterpick, does get punished by a counterpick. We've seen what Chicken can do when he does have that counterpick available. Let him have that more. Let him punish champions that Bumblebee will pick for himself. And I think if you follow that kind of blueprint for CBA, if they try and stick to that for game 3, they should be set theoretically.
Yeah, and on the other side, we have Fuzzy Esports, and the thing is that what worked in game 1 might not necessarily work if you do it again, just because of what we mentioned. It was mostly just mechanical errors from CBA that allowed Fuzzy Esports to win that first game. And I really want them to find something that'll just stick in this draft, get a clear win condition that they can actually play around. Playing around Kale isn't really that bad. You can also put Z maybe on a carry if that's something that you fancy. and just maybe even blatantly copy what CBA are trying to do and say, well, we believe that our players can do it better, though I doubt that will be the case. There are still options for Fuzzy, and I just want to see them, especially in this game, because if you lose here now, if you are Fuzzy Esports, the next game is potentially the last time you will play. Then you won't be able to innovate.
Yeah, exactly. And the big issue here is that we know CBA can survive a best of five. We know they are the champions for a reason. But then Fuzzy Esports, that whilst they had a great series in the quarterfinals, now this is unproven territory. They've gone down a game now. How do they handle that in a best of scenario? Let's see what these guys can bring out as we head into the game 3 champion select.
Still the same side, still the same bands. Kiana Kali won't be seeing any game time. The Zaya band away from Kali yet again, and there goes the Aatrox. So far, exactly the same bands.
Yeah, and it's kind of what we were expecting. Do we still see the Shen get took away? We do. But now the question is, Silas, is that took away here, or are they going to stick to their guns as they have done in Game 1 and Game 2? But the Silas, it's a worry for me because of the flexibility, but they're going to stick to the Kai'Sa ban. They're not scared of the Silas first pick still.
Yeah, and CBA aren't scared to just go for it. It's the LF legs. Just because Unknown Sweet had a great game doesn't mean it's guaranteed to be picked up by him. Fuzzy would stick with the Yuumi. This time, no Garen, please.
I mean, I still feel like the Garen Yuumi could work in a certain scenario, but don't pick it too blind. I'd say hold off to at least like in the ban phase 2 until you start thinking about the Yuumi Garen lock in there. But the question is now, what do they choose for themselves? Where do they want to blind pick? And it will be me Mundo, me Smash, top lane.
Blind pick Mundo top lane. We mentioned the counters that are there available for the side of CBA. And I feel like whether Fuzzy Esports just decide that, alright, Aatrox isn't here, Akali isn't potentially there either, so we aren't scared of anything else. Or whether they just feel so confident that this will fit in their composition that they go for it in the second pick.
I mean, for me, the Mundo, you need to be careful of picking it blind because there are certain champions. Head has to be a big one with the healing reduction, but plenty of champions can exploit the fact that Mundo is just going to sit there and let you have a free lane. So this Vayne pick, don't expect it to instantly go into Vanguard's hands despite his name, because Vayne into Mundo, I would favor Vayne very hard in that matchup because of her ability to kite out the Mundo themselves. And Oshi Paulson once again gets that Cassiopeia that he's comfortable on right now. CBA looking like they have such a strong draft already.
Yeah, the 3 champions that we've seen them perform on. And yeah, whereas the Vayne could be going over to imported chicken, not necessarily into Vanguard, I feel like we can expect a lot from that champion as well. Now, Fuzzy Esports, last pick in their first phase. What role do they pick? What champion? Alright, we are getting a Zed.
Oh, and that is so huge. I feel like Z on the Twisted Fate kind of handshook the laning phase, let Paulson get that lead for himself because he knew he wasn't going to have that much priority, he wasn't going to be able to have kill pressure. But this time, when you look in a Zed, that is kill pressure incarnate in a champion. And so now the pressure's certainly on Paulson because you've got to try and survive a lane as a Cassiopeia into an AD assassin like Zed. And I'm super excited and stoked for this pick because it is a Z special. And I'm hoping it can be the thing that shuts down this Paulson late game carry because he's been able to execute even game 1 and also game 2. He's shown, give me a mage, I will win the game for you guys. This time, he has a mage, but he's into a counter pick.
Alright, and a lot of pressure on Z as well because he needs to deliver now. Assassins aren't champions that you can just hope to scale on. You need to be actively getting the kills and actively getting the plays. And that's where I am looking forward to see what Z can offer. Just going over the bans in the second phase that have been coming through. Fuzzy Esports removed 2 supports, Morgana and Bromor, as CBA target the AD carry in the Lucian and Sivir.
And those champions getting took away from the AD carry position. I think Kali's pull even further. But I don't know if it's all over.
He could go Syndra bot.
I mean, you could go Syndra bot. There are plenty of champions.
Or Vigar. I actually did see it on his OPGG. I know I'm getting baited by I am getting baited by the hovers. Anyways, Lobby is gonna be remade though, because there was a okay, so apparently Necromancer couldn't be picking, so there will be a remake. This is the Champion Select that's running with some certain delay, in case you guys haven't noticed just yet, so it's gonna be a while until we see that on the screen. I hope. I don't know. Yeah, okay, we are seeing picks from CBA.
Yeah, that's still be going along until Necromancer gets picked, and that Ashe, going to allow a bit more pick potential in their composition, but with that Mundo, ideally you want a really, really strong backline team for her, and Ashe can offer a bit of that, but she isn't that huge late game carry as some other champions would be. The Pyke locked in for Gyazo again. He had a good performance last game, and we'll see if he's able to recreate that. And will Chicken opt for the Poppy again? Oh no, he go for an Ergo.
He's going for that champion, and yeah, I feel like that is about the time when we are going to get a lobby remade. So we have the entire composition of CBA. The picks are going to stay the same, and I'm just seeing a lot of skirmishing, fighting, just generally kill the other team. That is what CBA are going for, and that is what we wanted them to go for.
Yeah, I see a lot of damage from them. You know, the Ergo gonna have a bit of kill pressure onto Bumblebee. You've got obviously Unknown Speed's gonna be on that Silas that did a lot of work in that previous game, and the Paulson on the Cassiopeia, same story there, but this time into a much more exciting match, if I do say so myself. The picks have been taken away from me. But also in the bot lane, that Pyke gonna have a lot of kill pressure for Gyazo. We saw him once again. It's back to the same things that he did well in game 2, because Gyazo was on that Pyke, and instead of being on the Rakan where he certainly looked shaky, on the Pyke he looks a lot more comfortable. And talking about comfort, we've got Vanguard on Vayne. That's always an exciting prospect in the game, certainly, and we've seen the man pop off. However, I remember it used to be in Spring Split, every single time this guy got the Vayne champion, he destroyed everyone. Whereas in the summer, there have been a few times where he's picked it, but been a little bit exploited. So I'm interested now to see what Fuzz Esports have up their sleeve to deal with this Vayne pit, because we know Vanguard loves to play it. They must have been planning something for it, but I don't know if Ashe Yumi is exactly what you want into that.
I know that Cal has played the Yumi multiple times throughout the regular split, always as the utility carry for the team, just using the arrows to set up the plays. And when you've got Z on the set, one good arrow will definitely secure a kill for your assassin, which is the game plan for Fuzz Esports. I'm not exactly sure if they are trying to win bot lane. What they are trying to definitely do is make sure Z carries you to a match point.
Yeah, what I'm expecting of them is more front-to-back team fighting. When you have a champion like Dr. Mundo and Yumi both chilling in your team fighting is already going to be set up for greatness. And the Ashe she isn't the hugest hyper carry. She will be able to do a lot of that consistent damage from the backline, and a flank from Z can be huge. It's all on now what Hopper wants to opt for. Does he want to go for something like an Olaf that can hard run down to the CBA that doesn't have that much tankiness, or is he going to want to go for yet another tank and try and just like out-tank the damage that CBA have put forward?
Yeah, those are all the questions. We will be just going through the draft again as it was the remade lobby. I'm wondering what the last pick for Fuzz Esports is, because now that I think about it, could Mundo be flexed in the jungle, or are his days over?
Mundo could be flexed into the jungle. The reason Mundo usually goes to the jungle because he has one of the fastest, if not the fastest, clear speeds in the game. He isn't very healthy for it, but he is able to do it very, very fast. So if it does get moved into the jungle, it means that Hopper can have that a little bit more priority, get to the objectives a little bit quicker. The issue is, of course, staying healthy in the jungle and then having dueling power, because I feel like if someone just walks in on the Mundo doing his camp, Mundo just kind of cries and dies.
Yeah, that's a very fair, especially that it's a Silas for Unknown Speed, if I recall correctly again.
Yes.
So that's a lot of skirmishing power if he finds you 1v1 in the jungle. Come on, CBA, just run through those bans. We don't have all day here. We all want to go into the Rift, see that Zed, see what Fuzz Esports have got prepared as the last pick. Since we never actually got to see that, it could be either a top or a jungler. I'm gonna say it's most likely a jungler just because Mundo into Ergot isn't the worst matchup. Okay, so it is a jungler I'm hearing from the production. So yeah, it's gonna be Mundo top lane. We can stop doing all the theory crafting with the Mundo jungle now.
Oh, I was enjoying that, but yeah, Mundo in the top lane into the Urgot. The Urgot was counterpicked, so keep that in mind. This isn't a matchup that Chicken has opted into. He wants to play the Urgot into the Mundo, and what the Urgot has over what other champions lack against Mundo was that little bit of range. You often have a champion who tries to go aggressive on the Mundo but can't because, like a Garen or a Darius, you just get peeled off very easily, whereas with an Urgot, you have a gap closer yourself, you have a lot of range, so Mundo's going to be looking to throw some cleavers at you. He has to be careful about how he's positions, because if he steps a little bit out of line, all of a sudden he's been jumped over to the minion wave, bursted down a bunch of health, and keep in mind as well, the ultimate from Mundo is only really useful if you're able to use it from that low health bar. But if that state of mind gets completely taken away because all of a sudden you've been executed by an Urgot, then that Mundo ultimate could become a little bit less useful than you want it to be.
Alright, the bans are just coming through once again. You can already see that Paulson does go for the exhaust. I believe he already had the time to swap his runes, which is very expected against the Zed. I can't imagine really any other rune being run back again. And alright, what is the last pick, Fuzzy Esports? Come on, CBA, just lock your Urgot, and we are going to be expecting it.
You know what I'd really like? Urgot Well, it wasn't Karthus. So I say Urgot AD Vayne top would be a really fun little flex pick, but I doubt that's going to happen. But the Karthus has been locked in here as the jungler, and I have mixed feelings about this pickup. Now, what Karthus offers you is a good clear speed and one of the best scaling junglers in the game, and what is a very much needed source of AP damage in that team composition. But all we're going to lack in this game is the early game dueling and being able to have that priority. And Unknown Swede, we saw last game, was able to take full priority of that jungle when he's given it. And now, not only is it a case of, okay, he's going to have to fight for it, Unknown Swede is going to have priority in the jungle. It's pretty much set in stone with that Karthus pick. And so it's going to be on Unknown Swede. How is he going to use the priority he has in this early game? Will he be looking to make early ganks? Will he be looking to kill Hopper in his own jungle? He has several options to try and punish this Karthus pick. And now I'm interested to see which one does he opt for.
Yeah, definitely a lot of options. But what I do want to say is, I saw Hopper's Karthus. It wasn't in the Square 1, it was in another league he's playing. And there was one game where he got so insanely fed that he got a quadra kill just with the press of his ultimate.
Oh.
He has experience on the champion and he's had some pop-up performances, and whereas I do see the problems with this pick in this game, specifically what you said, Unknown Swede already proven to be a good Silas player in that second game, now having complete priority over the jungle, and also just dealing with the Pike and Urgot if you are a Karthus is probably not too fun. But if he can somehow overcome it all, then Fuzzy Esports are also looking strong. And I'm looking at Z as well. I'm looking at Callus arrows to hit their mark, which, you know, if they do, that will be the way in which Fuzzy Esports will try to win this game.
Oh, it will be indeed. And the exciting prospect of Fuzzy Esports is having in the late game, they'll have a Karthus and an Ashe sat in the back line with a Yuumi helping them out, and then a Mundo as your front line. That is scary. Late game, especially with a Z flanker. But the issue is then I look at that and I think great scenario for Fuzzy, and then I turn to the CBA's composition. I look at their late game and I'm seeing a Cassiopeia, I'm seeing a Vayne, and I'm thinking, that ain't no slouch either in the late game. You got to be careful of those picks.
Bumblebee can get as tanky as he wants. He's not going to survive a long time against the Vayne and the Cassiopeia, especially not against Paulson's Cassiopeia and Vayne God's Vayne. Now we're into the Rift. Alas, after a long time, ready for the game 3. We'll see if it will deliver. So far the series is definitely close.
Like a possible invade being set up here by Fuzzy Esports, but they don't catch anyone out, so people are going to assume their original positions there, unfortunately. Hoping for something a little bit spicier, but for game 3 still standard starts for both teams. Onto the Rift, and really now, I mean, get a chance to look into the matches. So we talked about Silas Karthus. We talked about Z into Paulson and how Z is going to want to get the kill pressure there. What do you think of the spot lane matchup, though? Because We got Vanguard on the Vayne, we got Gyazzo and that Pike he's done so well in, but they're into Ashe Yumi, both with that Comet Summoner spell.
Set the comment, that means that Kala and Necromancer will have a lot of poke available to them, and Vayne in early game, you know, not the best champion, I'm gonna have to admit, but I think expectations are still to be set. Gyazzo, he had a decent game too on the Pike, he still did some whiffed ultimates, but you know, I don't want to talk about the bad things. This is his time to redeem, because Ashe doesn't have any mobility.
Doesn't, and it's similar to the Garen, but this time she has no like movement speed or little like stun blocker. There's nothing that Khaled Soul can really do if Gyazzo does land that bone skewer and takes him down. That wave.
Yeah,
That's a good push.
Yeah, Paulson doing well in the level 1 mid lane. Of course, a Zed with just one ability isn't really a Zed. I feel like it's a quote of the champion. Kala immediately forced to flash as the bone skewer was coming through. That's the ignite. Flash forward. Vanguard, he picks up the first blood.
And that's why you don't let Vanguard have Vayne, because he knows his damage numbers. Also, great catch up by Gyazzo there. Uses his E to stun before the bone skewer, as you'll see coming up in the replay. Khaled Soto, though, playing a little bit disrespectfully here. Tries to step up, not respecting what Gyazzo can do, and then Necromancer hopped out, so can't do much for Kale right now. But the health bar depletes just further and further. The flash forward by Vanguard and First Blood.
Great play from the ball lane of actually CBA. They are hungry for the win. They want to get Vanguard rolling, which is, if you think back about CBA for the last 2 splits, summer and spring included, if you get Vanguard fed, that is pretty much the way in which CBA have won their most dominant victories.
Yeah, and also you see what happened in game 1 was that it was a lack of enabling factors for Vanguard. He wasn't able to come online in that game because his team didn't support him. Whereas in game 2, he was very much allowed to be that strong Lucian in the side lane, and now he's back onto that lane carry.
Good flip back from Imported Chicken. Bumblebee running low on health, down to 100. You gotta be careful if you are playing this Mundo, but he will be alive. Doesn't have to burn his flash, so I guess it's not all too bad for Bumblebee.
Oh, eyes on Unknown Sweet, though. He wants to make something happen in this top lane.
He's coming in behind the tide. He holds the wave. Bumblebee, he still has got the flash, uses it, but doesn't dodge the stun with it. One more chain. It lands from Unknown Sweet. He picks up the kill and should be able to get out of the tide range. Is forced to burn both his and Imported Chicken's flash, though.
Yeah, but they are able to score the kill in the end, and it gives Unknown Speed the early kill that he's going to want in this jungle matchup. He wants the early pressure. He wants the priority. And that's all starts from that early kill, because it gives you the extra gold, gives you that early lead that is used to start a snowball. And this is where you see it now. Great management of the Tarago there. Well, just to get that kill. And sure, both flashes are gone now, but that lane lead going to be very, very important for Imported Chicken to have, especially against something as abusable as a Mundo.
Alright, CBA so far off to a great start, pulling ahead in gold as another engage. Coming through in the ball and the exhaust was used onto Vanguard, but Kale, he just doesn't have any help. Oh, Vanguard, he's so damn low. One more auto attack will do it. Necromancer gets the return kill, but he should be dropped as Gyazzo. One more bone skewer or the Phantom Undertow, he secures this stun. Necromancer is actually still alive, so it will end up being a 1-for-1 in ball lane, but the kill goes over to Vanguard.
Yeah, it does. Have the turtle. Once again, like, you can't be just sat in the middle of the lane and be letting this happen to you. Sure, good wave control from Vanguard, but it feels like they're not respecting the engage potential of Gyazzo.ne, and it means that they get punished every single time. And Vanguard now sitting at a 10 CS lead, 2 kills to nothing. Obviously, the kill went over to Necromancer instead. So now you're looking at what is a Vamp Scepter, a Longsword, a Dagger, to only 2 Longswords and a Control Board.
And we mentioned the double comment being used to poke out the Vanguard in bot lane. Well, guess what? If you get lifesteal, the poke will not matter nearly as much as it would otherwise.
Oh, an unknown Swede. Oh, no.
He's looking for a gank. Yasuo fishes for the bone skewer. It goes white Necromancer. He's losing so much health. He goes down to Vanguard. That's the third kill of the game over to the ADC of CBA.
Garen, whilst all this action is happening in the bot lane, Vanguard already starting to stumble on what is a late game scaling champion. Mid lane, Z's achieved absolutely nothing. Jungle, Hopper's achieved absolutely nothing. Top lane, Bumblebee's behind, and it feels like every point in the map right now is losing for Fuzzy Esports. Hopper, as I say that though,
doesn't have flash. Let's remember that Hopper, he is level 6. That should be the kill. It's picked up by Bumblebee. Hopper gets a stack of Dark Harvest. Small win for Fuzzy Esports, but they do give up the Mountain Drake to do so.
Is getting that kill top lane worth a Mountain Dragon? Yeah, I wouldn't say so. Obviously Hopper not exactly on the highest priority jungler, but it feels like Fuzzy Esports so set on conceding this early game. But if you're gonna try and concede,
Here goes the death mark. Z, he's fishing for the solo kill. The exhaust, this down, petrifying gaze. Z, he's gonna be alive. The Requiem from Hopper, it finishes it off. That was such a roller coaster of emotions in the mid lane.
And you know, Hopper, I said you were doing nothing, and then you managed to get a kill and an assist, and also a nice farm lead. So really, I can't complain about him too much. He is being decent considering the fact that he's a Karthus in the early game. But Z, only securing an assist behind in CS, needs to be doing a little bit more to punish Paulson. But that Seeker's Arm Guard being bought by the Cassiopeia going to make it a lot harder for that Zed to do the damage that we're expecting from Z.
Yeah, 1-0-1 also on Hopper, which is the thing that you mentioned, and what I really want to focus on for Fuzzy Esports, just because Karthus is such a huge impact jungler, and we switched to him clearing Krugs without mana. That's very fitting. But once he hits more items, when he completes that Winning Echoes and gets his sorcery boots, and maybe level 11, the Requiem is going to be a huge tool that Fuzzy Esports can utilize to win fights.
Oh, it certainly will be, and it helps, as you saw in the mid lane, with the possible assassination. Not only does a Zed diving in the mid lane sound horrible, but imagine you just survive, and then the Requiem comes through and you die, as we saw for Paulson. And it's that Dark Harvest, Summoner Spell, what's it called? Keystone, I guess, which is so useful because it allows low health members to just get completely annihilate, and that's exactly what you want to pair up with the likes of a Zed, likes of an Ashe. You want to thrive on these picks. Giving that extra little bit of global damage can mean the world when you're trying to kill that squishy champion.
Requiem will be up soon, and I can see this is gonna be tough. Hopper doesn't have any mana. He's got the blue buff, but is it enough? Forced to burn the flash away from the abduct. Unknown Sweet, he hijacks the Requiem, and he will not be afraid to use it. Gazo secures the kill with the death from below. Zig going in with the death mark makes it a 1-for-1. That's 2-for-1 as Kali kills Gazo, and Fuzzy Esports actually come out on top in that trade.
And this time, Swede, he knows he has priority, but
see, he's in so much trouble. The petrifying gaze for slow for the damage pulse, and one more twin-fying, and he gets the solo kill onto Z in mid lane.
And that's so huge. But first of all, look at this. Unknown Swede thinks he has the kill here, but look at the overextension. There are wards all about. Z's coming down, bot lane could come down. And it's just disrespect from Swede. You cannot be there. And Yazo also coming along for the ride means that it's 2-1 overall, but Z then gets caught out here, does not respect the damage from Paulson. That means that he goes down. A Cassiopeia solo killing a Zed should not be happening realistically in this game.
Poor the chicken missed that fear beyond death, but the grievous wounds from that Executioner's Calling, meaning Bumblebee, he's having a hard time trading back in top lane. And here comes Hopper. The flash is now up on the Ergot, but I don't think he will have to use it. Instead, Hopper needs to be very careful since Unknown Speed is up, and that hijacked Requiem is still sitting.
Yeah, so's that too. Really scary.
Feels the attack not connecting. The bone skewer pulls Hopper back
Uh-oh.
in. He's stand in place. He has got his ulti, but I don't think he will do absolutely anything. And poor the chicken picks the kill up. CBA, they're still looking for plays. They are not discouraged by that play in bot lane.
Not only is Paulson up now 25, but not only is that as the jungle matchup starting going a little bit in Lucy's favor again, but look at the mid lane. That's a 20. That's what, a 30 CS lead. 3 platings as well. Like, I want to see Paulson's gold league because I imagine it's at least 1k. It has to be.
Surely, I probably maybe slightly more. It's kind of hard to judge, but even with the items, it is sitting at about 800 as the stun connects onto Vanguard. Here comes the final chapter shutdown. It goes over to Necromancer. It is a 1-for-1. The support of all people getting the kills.
Oh my goodness, that was down to the wire there. I got way excited about that one. But Kyler Turtle and Vanguard both end up going down. Once again, supportal combat happens. But Gyazzo, that global pressure that he's wanting, he's continuing to try and use it. And he's threatening a dive down to this mid lane. Also has the wards available to make it happen. Able to use it though. The blowing pressure from this pipe though. Gyazzo's had a great game so far. 2, 1, and 4. Has been all over this map.
So much trouble. He goes back. Paulson just sinks down a Twin Fang into his back. He throws down the petrifying gaze. Hopper, he doesn't have enough damage. That's the double for Paulson. No Requiem will be there for Hopper to return the favor. CBA, they just keep impressing. They keep the plays coming.
Yeah, they do. And now CBA, because of the platings that Paulson was able to go down with the push, they now secure the first turret down in this mid lane and direct the rise towards that gold lead because it seemed quite even. That's a 4.5k gold lead for CBA at 12.5 minutes. That is unheard of.
And they are getting all this gold onto the carries they need. Paulson and Vanguard having the most. Look at the individual leads as well. If we will have that back, the Ocean Dragon is gonna go now in favor of CBA. And after that game 1, they are looking like the CBA we expected. And yeah, we have the gold back up. Vanguard, 1.34k ahead of Kale. Paulson, 1.8k ahead of Z.
It's just unreal. And sure, whilst top lane's gone fairly even, credit to Mumblebee there. Jungle, in fact, Hopper has a lead for himself, which is impressive. But it's that bottom side of the map that's just stumbled so hard in CBA's favor. And it's only going to continue to do so. Now, the saving grace is that for Esports have a late game. They have Karthus available. They have the Mundo doing well as well. They have the Ashe who can be that, late game carry as an AD carry. The difference is, though, is that also it's because Esports have their fairly even lanes where they have the advantage. It's late game scaling carries for CBA that have the lead here. It's the Cassiopeia, it's the Vayne, it's the I guess the Pyke isn't really late game scaling, but you get my point. In this late game team fight, the Cassiopeia and the Vayne are gonna get those item spikes sooner, and so it means that they're gonna be able to execute a lot harder on being those late game threats.
I mean, that's where I feel like the execution will have to be Fuzzy Esports' friend. They've got the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. That's your biggest tool at any time in the game to make the play. Then, of course, Hopper will scale, and Z is gonna become much harder for him to make plays the later this game goes, but it won't be impossible. I don't think Vanguard is gonna get a Zhonya's or really a whole lot to protect himself, so if you ever see that AD carry stepping out, then that will be the target you will go for if you're Z.
Yeah, but let's be honest, is Vanguard really going to miss position that much on that? He plays the champion so much, he knows his limits. I'm not expecting him to really overextend here, and maybe threatening a bot lane dive here, meaning that Kyler Turtle and Necromancer need to be careful. Eyes on Paulson. He's also coming down.
Oh, Kale pulled back in. The final chapter is gonna be, should Kale still alive? He kills Vanguard. Paulson, however, has arrived. There goes the kill. The petrifying gaze death from below as well from Gyazzo, and it's 2-for-1 in favor of CBA.
And that nearly looked great for the Esports, but the redive coming in, Paulson arriving, and that means that yet another turret goes over to the side of CBA. However, Hopper able to start pushing in this lane, forcing Imported Chicken away from his top lane, and also Z's able to catch up with Hopper. Uh-oh.
He might be in a lot of trouble. The corrosive charge doesn't connect. Hopper still running away. Look at his damage though. The Skittles just having so much of an effect as Vanguard uses the TP up to top lane. Level 9 Vayne versus level 11 Urgot. Fight. There comes the ultimate, the final hour. Bumblebee, he's got the flash and he does use it right now. He should be out of there unless Sweet catches him, as Hopper also getting chased back in the mid lane. Paulson has joined the fight. Look at Callis, health just melt! It's a double for Paulson, and that Cassiopeia just keeps on delivering.
It does indeed. 5-1-1. Not only did Paulson have a fantastic performance last game, but it's looking like the same this game. This guy on this Cassiopeia looks completely unstoppable. You can pick assassins into this guy. You can pick the early game shutdown. It is not going to work. He has said it once, he'll say it again. And now they're shoving in these lanes. Top lane tier 1, that's gone down. The mid lane tier 2 now under pressure.
Death Mark onto Kiazo. Z really wants to get the kill. Petrifying Gaze only connects onto Necromancer. That's a beautiful arrow. Is it enough? Z already used all his cooldowns. The poison doesn't connect. Paulson's Twin Fangs still doing the work. He's still healing up. The death from below. Unknown, the Sweet is gonna get the killing. Kiazo picks the second kill, and Paulson still refuses to die.
He is not allowed to die in this game, it seems. This guy's been an absolute monster. And it's just looking unstoppable. You see, you have a Zed and a Yuumi double team of Paulson for so long. But it's still not enough. Paulson does not die. And now, with the Mountain Dragon and the fact that Cassiopeia has so much damage shed, look at how quickly this Rift Herald is going down for CBA. They're getting an easy objective there for themselves. And we'll see it in the replay here. See, tries to go in and get him, force him out the fight, and at this point, it is a Zed and a Yuumi with an Ash arrow landing versus one Cassiopeia. And despite the fact that Paulson even misses some abilities, the kiting is so good, the phase rush used exquisitely, there. And then the rest of his team arrives just in the nick of time. CBA able to start knocking down this mid lane turret.
It's honestly insane. Paulson's Cassiopeia, it has to be a ban. If you are Fuzzy Esports next game, the counter Requiem is gonna be used. Just a bit of damage in favor of CBA. That's the arrow onto Paulson, but how much can it realistically do? The Fear Beyond Death already getting Hopper. Now the Requiem is gonna get in. Is it enough? It kills Paulson. That's a shutdown. Now 2 kills for Fuzzy Esports. Vanguard is down to 250 HP. Kale flashes forward with the volley. Necromancer picks the kill up. Gazo now, death from below. He kills Kale. Can CBA turn it around? Unknown Sweet is definitely trying to. The chain lash coming through. That's the double. And it's finally gonna be a shutdown onto Gazo, but Unknown Sweet, he's turning the fight around. It's an ace for 4, and CBA come out on top.
CBA, gotta be careful with that lead. You can't just disrespect like that, but starts off now. Gazo getting a little bit caught out of position there. Tries to make something happen here, but that Requiem from the Silas tries to have Hopper completely caught out of position here. But keep your eyes on him, because that Requiem is huge. Paulson taking so much damage in the backside of this fight. And the Dark Harvest proc alongside the Comet coming through from Ash means that Paulson don't look for this world. And Porter Chicken also gets stuck incredibly low with the Shadow Dance. And that Requiem, so much impact already in the fight. And this is a Karthus not even at his late game point now. So showing that Fuzzy Esports certainly not at this game, as they're able to score an Infernal
Kale is in so much pain. The damage from Unknown Sweet, but Hopper has got more than enough to return. It is still a kill for CBA. Yasuo on the sidelines, he's looking for his prey. He's just standing and waiting to strike on the right moment. His executions this game have been on point, and Necromancer, you might want to be careful. There is no one to jump to. He's just gonna die. Paulson picks the kill up.
And those are the points where you have to ask them, what you doing there, buddy? Oh, and Porter
Z
Chicken,
is trying. Oh, great play. Z just kills him. Porter Chicken with the death mark. Not much more to say. Just a bit more gold over to the mid laner of Fuzzy Esports.
Golf clap from me. Well done. That was a nice little kill. But According to that, the Baron's being started up, and that's a Cassiopeia. It will melt like butter.
Paulson, he's flashing over the wall onto Hopper, who's just destroyed. His health bar is gone. It's gonna be a 1-for-1, and here comes Bumblebee into the Baron pit. It's secured by Unknown Sweet Arrows and easy smite. Paulson is still alive. Vanguard is kiting the hijacked arrow. It nails Kale right in his face. Paulson on a killing spree. Bumblebee gets Vanguard, but now can he run away? I just don't think so. That's a teleport from imported chicken. Who's gonna get the kill? Unknown Sweet with 8-1 and 8 on the Silas.
You know, Sweet, he had that one moment of disrespect in the enemy jungle, but bar that, once again, he's had an incredible game. And the question is now, like we talked about earlier, what do we ban? Because not only do we have the 2-0 Cassiopeia from Paulson, where he's just like a beast, but also we have a 2-0 Silas now from Unknown Swede. 2-0 Pike, actually, to notice, too, from Gyazzo. Got Vanguard on Vayne. I mean, he isn't even one of the star players in this game. And he's still being a threat. And now
did Paulson play Cassiopeia in game 1?
No, he didn't. He played Rise.
Okay, yeah. I mean, the point still stands, though. I was just making sure, that I'm not going crazy.
Yeah,
and what you said is still very true.
Yeah, it certainly is. And that Rise was still a threat. And it feels like Paulson, no matter the matchup, no matter the game, will always be able to be that scaling threat. And he's shown that in game 1, where he was sure it was a losing game, but he showed a bit of prowess there on Rise. But also in game 2 and 3, he's shown when he's ahead, he can snowball that victory. It's very impressive from what he's played. He got 10 stacks in that Dark Seal. Good investment by him there.
Kale doesn't have the flash. He's pulled back in. That should be the easy kill. Gyazzo securing the double with the double dunk. And that's the bowling gone.
Why is Kale there? Look at the amount of deaths that he's had this game. That's 9 deaths. Like, as an AD carry, that's unacceptable. I hate to say it, but look at the CS as well. He's 103 CS at 22 minutes.
What's going forward? CBA, take the tier 2 in the middle lane. Bumblebee.
Oh, gee.
He's not having a fun time at all. Paulson is just cutting right through that bad health bar of a Mundo. And Fuzzy Esports, they are pushed back in. It's not over if they lose this game, but they definitely will be trying to fight back. Hopper is flashing away. Unknown Sweet, he just overstepped. He's gonna die. That's a big shutdown being picked up by Z.
Game's not over yet, but it is certainly in CBA's favor, no doubt about it. That Karthus could always make that make or break Requiem, so I'll have to hold my tongue on saying whether one of those games won or not. But the poke actually quite strong. Look at the mana. Not much left for Karthus. He's going to be forced to back off, and as Hopper does that, it is going to be the reset coming out from Gabriel.
Detours in chat, boys. That we get a beautiful angle on that play from Gyazzo.
Oh, and it's just Kale seems to just overextend time and time again in this game. Don't have any form of mobility as this Ashe, and get Gyazzo's been allowed to get so many engages onto Kale the top, despite Kale knowing that he is very vulnerable in this Ashe pick. And 9-6, 114 CS at 23 minutes. That's you can't be at that as a AD carry. That's less than 5 CS per minute, which is my kind of level of CS.
Yeah, Kale has been struggling, to say the least. 296, just one item. We already talked about the CS, but he's the stun bot this game. He doesn't need to carry if Hopper will, which is a really bad way to look at a game, but it's technically not wrong in the position that Fuzzy Esports are in. As long as Kale will land those arrows, I think you can turn a blind eye to that, at least in certain team fights.
Yeah, it's good that he's not 2-9-6 or like a Tristana or something, then it's just... but having the Enchanted Crystal can be very, very useful to set up Z and Hopper to just burst down some targets. The issue is trying to set that up now versus a CBA team who look very, very strong. It's going to be very tough.
That for sure. We hit 25 minutes and CBA still 14,000 gold ahead. That's a Magi's being upgraded. The stun onto Gyazzo from the arrow. Not necessarily the target you want. It's just too far away Fuzzy Esports clearing away the waves. They want to make sure their base stays alive for as long as possible.
Yeah, Paulson, oh! Possible overextension, but is able to get out quite easily.
Wall of Pain will slow him down. Paulson down to half. That is a lot of damage, and it's not gonna be the kill yet. He's still alive. He goes into the zone. Yes, there goes the Requiem. It will surely finish off some kills. That's 3 over to the side of Fuzzy Esports. A double for Hopper, and imported chicken is on the menu tonight. As 4 members of Fuzzy Esports on the chase, and Z secures the kill. A massive fight in favor of Fuzzy Esports.
Fuzzy Esports step up and they say, no, this game ain't over. We've got a Carthus. And my goodness, the amount of damage he outputs in that fight was incredible. Kind of total, a bit of put down, but look at the amount of damage that Paulson takes. So much damage. The Dark Carthus gets popped. Hopper does die, but bear in mind, he's Carthus. He doesn't mind dying because he can get this Requiem off. And as soon as it gets popped, goodbye, Gyazzo. Disappears there. I have to admit, this Carthus pick, I was skeptical. I can't speak. Skeptical at it at first, but I have to say, it's done a real good job, and despite the fact it's lost a lot of priority early game, it isn't really that far behind. The Dark Harvest that's coming through now, and Hopper in these team fights is looking like a monster carry.
That for sure. The Baron is back on the map. And the thing is, CBA have got the lead, but we just saw what kind of fight Fuzzy Esports will win. If Paulson isn't careful and if he takes too much poke at the beginning, that is exactly when Fuzzy Esports will just destroy you. Because even if you kill Hopper, if he's anywhere near your team, he will unleash a lot of damage onto you. As this Baron is now going down, Hopper doesn't have the flash. He's got the Blast Cone to his use, and CBA rightfully back out.
Yeah, but CBA now have quite a lot of health following the answer, so need to be a little bit careful. However, they do have priority in the majority of their lanes, so they can still feel free to keep going onto this Baron and threatening it, especially with that Cassiopeia. But look at the flank from Chicken, looking to see if he can make something happen here.
Unknown Sweet hijack the Requiem. He's just poking. He's making sure everyone goes down. All right, Hopper. He's just showing. All right, you do this. I'm gonna do that as well. But I feel like you should have used it maybe for the fight, and now Hopper is going to get engaged upon. He's down. Paulson gets the kill. How much can Fuzzy Esports get in return? Gyazzo is getting the reset. That's a double for Hopper, though. It's a 2-for-2. Important chicken over the wall. He's trying to get Z. Kale is knocked down to Unknown Sweet. Vanguard is still alive, but he doesn't seem to be doing any damage to Bumblebee. Z is down, though, and now that should be an ace being finished off by CBA.
That Mundo, huge in that fight, trying up so much damage, but unfortunately in the end, misses too many cleavers, and Vanguard able to secure the kill for himself. Now the death time is so long, 16 seconds on Hopper coming back. You got 7 seconds on Necromancer, but he's going to be on his own, and he's a Yumi, really. The question is, what can CBA do? Can they end the game? It's not looking likely, but they will be able to secure at least 2 inhibitors, which is going to be a very, very nice gain from that fight in the end. But still, we're 28 minutes in right now, and CBA, it looked like they should have ended about probably 6 minutes ago, I'd say, but still, Fuzzy Esports, they're showing some mettle in this game. They're holding on for dear life, but God, are they holding.
Level 16 hit by Hopper. He's got the death cap already for a while. We didn't really mention it. Hit that Morellonomicon as well. There is an Infernal sitting for Fuzzy Esports. It's just boosting the AP on that Carthus, and he's gonna become very scary. You know, things are getting real when there is a nearly ATCS lead in the jungle at 30 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I would like to see the AP stat on this Carthus right now. I'm imagining it's something like 500, 600, something like that.
That's a void stuff now finished. He just went back and pulled the void stuff.
Oh man. That's a bold move there, but at this point, he has to. I mean, he's the main source of damage, really, for Fuzzy Esports, so, like, having that amount of AP and being able to push through the enemy distances is so important, because no one else is really going to do it. Z is an assassin in the late game. Kale, obviously, we talked about Kale beforehand, so he doesn't really have much damage. Then you've got Yumi and Mundo, so overall, I mean, it's not an insane amount of damage by that Carthus. So Hopper very much the most important member in these
Oh
fights.
no, Bumblebee and Necromancer as well, both stuck in this pit. Gyazo with the Bone Skewer. He might have just secured CBA. The Baron. Hopper has got the flash. Will he decide to go for the steal? He can't even do it because Paulsen kills him. The petrifying gate means he cannot go away. And Anosmith kills Kalle. The Baron and 4 kills over to CBA, and that should be the game too.
Yeah, look at the in-hit minions just pushing in onto those Nexus turrets. CBA smell blood in the water, and the enchanted crystal arrow gonna just whiff.
It was close. One play, Gyazo and Paulsen over the wall in the Baron. They get all the kills for CBA. That will be the ace. At 31 minutes, CBA put themselves in the match point.
What a bloody game. 63 kills, can I just remind you, in 30 minutes. That's more than 2 kills per minute you were getting for your money. So good value there. But CBA, they show up hard. And once again, now the questions have to come into the drafting game for. You've got that Cassiopeia, 2-0. Paulsen showed up so much on it. Do you take that away? The Silas for Unknown Swede, he had great performances both games too. Do you take that away? Even Gyazo has had fantastic double pressure in this game 3 with that pike. Do you want to take that away? There are so many picks now, but CBA have been able to draft themselves where I'm thinking, for Esports, you need to really take some of those away now. The question is, do they have room in the draft to do so? Because they'll have to let through that Aatrox, or the Akali, or the Geisa. Those are the options they've banned so far. Will they switch any of them up, is my question.
It's definitely hard to answer for us, and Fuzzy Esports, they've got some big choices because CBA, just one more game separates them from the finals where they will be looking to defend their title. Fuzzy Esports trying their hardest to stop it. But I feel like it's time just to go into the break, and we will see you in a couple of minutes to see where that series takes us.